Hey everyone, it's Holly from the Urban Homesteader. Today is a fairly decent weather day, but we do know that winter is coming. And since it's one of the last few days that we can be outside without a coat on, we're going to tackle some projects. And today we're going to be working on winterizing the chicken runs. So in the past, I have wrapped these, Pat and I have wrapped these in plastic. And I'll be real honest with you, I'm kind of over it. I hate buying plastic every single year. It gets super dirty, you can't see through it, all the reasons. So this year I decided to bite the bullet and purchased a bunch of polycarbonate sheets and panels. So this is the stuff that's used in like greenhouses, and I'm going to be able to like reuse it every year. That's the plan anyway. Now, we've never worked with this product before, so I'm hoping that it's going to go well. Pat has already cut the first piece, and we bought a special blade for it, and it worked out pretty slick. Although it's loud, so I'd recommend some earplugs. So the plan is we're going to just put these sheets, actually we're going to do it this way, because the sheets are only so wide. Some of these studs are not going to fit perfectly, so we're going to run with the lines going horizontal, sorry. And we're just going to wrap it. So now when it snows and it gets windy in the winter, the elements will stay out of the chicken run area, and I will still be able to see through this, and I'll be able to see what kind of things that they're up to during the winter season. So that's about it. Wish us luck. We are going to tackle this today and hopefully wrap it up. Let me show you what everything looks like. I'm so excited with how this turned out, you guys. So we used those polycarbonate sheets, and I tell you what, they were very, very easy to work with. So you can see that almost everything has been wrapped. You could probably tell that the door has not been wrapped. Basically, that is because the sheets are only 2 feet wide and the door frame is wider than that. So what I'm going to do to fix this problem is basically just get a dollar store shower curtain, and I'll hang it up with some lath and an air nailer and call it good for the winter. A little bit of a bummer because it doesn't match, but it's okay. It's just temporary. It's only for winter, and it's going to be fine. You will probably be able to tell up here, there's a little bit of a gap there, and weirdly enough, it kind of worked out okay because we always want to have ventilation going on in the chicken run. So the chickens are going to be basically stuck in here all winter. We do give them the option to come out when they want to, but they don't. If there's snow on the ground, they kind of stand at the entrance of the door and they look out like, what are you doing? I'm not going out in that stuff. So it's a long time for them to be in this room, this chicken run. And so their waste adds up, and that creates a lot of ammonia, and it gets pretty strong in there. So we want that airflow. So that worked out. The panels were only so big, but the ceiling was higher, so whatever. A little bit of a vent up there. And then over on this side, you can see, let me try to get over here. You can see these little triangle. There's one on each side, so that always remains open too. Every year that we've had this coop, we've never wrapped it to enclose those triangles. And again, that's just about airflow. So you can see that it got wrapped up all the way through to the back. I'll show you the back side in a little bit, but here's the new coop. You can see I've removed my flowers from the flower beds, or the window boxes, sorry. And everything else is really, really wrapped up good on this one. This door worked out great. The panel is basically the same size as the door frame, so we just threw a panel up. And then as far as airflow goes up under here, that has remained open. So we'll leave it as is. Airflow goes through there. You can see the chickens are at the door. They want to come out probably. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the inside or the back side. We'll go through the chicken play yard here. Give you a little bit of a tour quickly. Here's that wall. It just looks so good. And there's a little bit of a breeze today. And when I had it wrapped in plastic, at least the green coop, it would always rattle the plastic. So now we're not having any of that, which is pretty great. Here's the back side. We just used scrap pieces from those polycarbonate sheets to kind of block off the top part. We didn't trim it off to match the roof line. It's not that big of a deal. It's the back side. No one's going to see it. Chickens don't care, and I certainly don't care either. So these are just looking, I think, so great. Pat did a wonderful job in helping. Of course, he did most of the work. So, and there's the back side of that. So kind of cool, right? Looks pretty good to me. Just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the other things that I worked on for winterizing, as far as winterizing goes. So there's two main things. One is that I took the fans out of the coops and replaced them with heat lamps. And now you may or may not be a fan of heat lamps. I have done my share of researching, is it good, bad, what should I do? And I've come to this conclusion. Everybody needs to do what they want to do. So I use heat lamps, but only when it gets to be terribly, terribly cold. I want to keep the temp in my coops about 32 because I don't want my eggs to freeze. The difference that I have between these coops is that the new brown one, the nesting boxes are on the inside and that building is insulated. Both coops are insulated, but the nesting box in the green coop is actually on the outside and that's not insulated in that part. So we have more oftentimes than not had frozen eggs in the winter, which is kind of a bummer, but it's also just real. I mean, it is what it is, and I can't help that. So again, I am going to use those heat lamps to my own discretion. If it gets to be 30 below, which we all know it does here in central Minnesota, I'm going to give those chickens a better life than just having them be frozen. I just think that's a little bit of cruelty to them, and if I have the ability to give them a heat source, I'm going to. So I only use those heat lamps when I'm home. I never have them on when I'm at work. And it seems to be working okay for me. And you got to remember, I also don't have straw in my coops. That's a big deterrent, or not a big deterrent, but it's a big reason that I feel comfortable using those heat lamps, because the chance of anything catching on fire is real slim. I only have sand in there, and then like the chickens aren't flying around in there. The building isn't big enough for them to be flying, so it's not like their feathers are flying around or, you know, creating havoc with the heat lamp. So again, you do you. I don't know what your setup is like, but mine, I feel very safe using a heat lamp, but I only use it when it's very, very necessary and when it's really, really cold out. So the other thing that I worked on, I'm going to show you guys, we're going to go back into I'm just going to bring into the green coop real quick. Let me flip this around. Remember I was talking about all of my drinkers that I have? I'm going to show you guys what we got going on for the drinkers in here. Well, in both of the coops. So here's my heated base. I am ready for winter. Those heated bases, they're just necessary here in Minnesota. Okay. You got to have a heat source for your water in the winter. Unless you are able to go out into your chicken run and check the water 4 times a day. I mean, let's be real. I don't. And who wants to? I mean, yuck. I don't want to come out here every 4 hours. Forget it. So these heated bases are really important. And now that we have electrical dug through, we have our trench buried, and we've got power on these coops, this is just going to be so slick. And so those open vented areas that I was talking about, I can run the extension cord through there. We've got a plan, and it's just going to be really, really easy. So again, couple of things to winterize. We're going to wrap it, we're going to do heat lamps, and we're going to do watering bases. So let me turn this back around. That's it, you guys. Operation Winterization is over. Yay. And we can't wait to watch the snow fly. No, let's be real. We don't want it to fly, but we know it's going to. But at least we're going to be ready. So that's it. We'll check in next time. Thanks so much for watching.